Mouse and keyboard controllers, they're not the only way to play your favorite games. We're at GDC to see the wildest, the craziest. Let's play some games. So can you tell us the concept behind how to pet your cat and how you came up with this crazy idea?
I have a cat at home that really enjoys people's attention, and I thought that little interaction is really fun if we could scale it up into a larger scale, and then we could basically make a physical model of the cat butt and then put it in the arcades and have people come around to kind of fight for cat's love.
And it's a lot of work. I'm tired. I'm out of breath.
I know, because it's sort of like a workout, because underneath all that fur, it's actually some pressure sensors. We make kind of a grid of copper foil, and then we can detect where your hands actually are. And it makes the cat feel you're patting its favorite spot or you're patting the last favorable spot. So we have to kind of size it out really carefully to make it fit to the butt cheek, of the curve of the butt cheek.
What was the process of creating that cat? And is it designed after your cat?
My cat is a tuxedo cat, so in order to kind of make it, I guess, more of a warmer color so that it fits into every kind of scenarios that we could put on the background, we make it orange cat. And then also orange cats tend to be more kind of human friendly in this situation, so we thought it might be a good choice if we switch to the color.
So can you tell me about your chair-tastic game?
Our lead designer came up with the concept. His name is Harry, but he came up with the concept while he was just sitting on an office chair, and just like kind of like the joke of like leaning to the left or right, where somebody's like passing gas, more or less. And it was also part of like a semester-long project where we had to work on the alt controller. So it was more just like coming up with creative ideas.
How technical is it to be able to have 4 different chairs all competing at one time?
It's quite technical. I mean, right now we're just using like an Arduino board. The Arduino board holds a gyro, which allows us to recognize when the chair is rotating. We have 2 pressure pads that are underneath the chair here that allow to basically censor whether or not you're lifting up one or left or one cheek, right? And then we just have 2 buttons that allow us to just perform items. It was a lot easier. Actually, in the previous iteration, we had pressure pads on the armrests themselves, but it seemed a little easier just to use buttons there instead.
I love me a kart racer,
Yeah.
and it was giving me that kind of vibes. Was there any inspirations from other games out there, any racing games that you lot love yourself?
It was definitely Mario Kart that was quite an inspiration. I also have a fellow engineer. He's very into racing games, and he had a lot of inspiration on that project itself. He's a very big fan of like Trackmania, which also brought a lot of inspiration to the team as well. I want to shout out the University of Utah. I mean, we wouldn't be here at GDC if it wasn't for them. They provided quite a big sponsorship once we got accepted to GDC. In the previous iteration, we honestly just used chairs that we had in the lab, and just very low tech. Huge shout out to them. It wouldn't be possible without them.
We got a whole shower here.
Yeah.
Tell us, what's the concept and what made you come up with this incredible shower game?
Well, alt.ctrl.GDC, there's lots of interesting creative projects. I thought of what's more relatable than going into a shower you're unfamiliar with and not knowing what all the dials and buttons do. It's very stressful and overstimulating, where a shower should be, relaxing. So it's fun to turn something so mundane into like a competitive, intense environment.
And how did you physically build and come up with the rig and how it works with the software?
So I started with a prototype that was just a small board that had all the sensors on it. But then I saw that they sell at Home Depot, they sell the shower enclosure. And I was able to get one and basically put all my sensors in the appropriate spots on the enclosure. Having it in an actual shower makes it a lot cooler, although it's very difficult to transport it here and stuff with this giant shower enclosure.
Can you tell me about this controller that you created, which is incredible?
It's a motorized wheelchair arm controller. We've attached like 3D printed elements to control it, and essentially it operates using EMG sensors that are placed on the temporalis muscle. And depending on how hard you flex that muscle, the EMG sensor will read the electric current that goes from your brain to that muscle, and then it translates to different actions with the wheelchair. We designed it for patients with ALS because towards the later stages of ALS, they typically lose a lot of control of the muscles in their body, but the temporalis muscle and the eye muscle stay pretty much intact so they can use this wheelchair for longer periods of time. Once we developed the wheelchair, we thought we should make like a way to ease into using the wheelchair, because that sort of translation from the temporalis, which you usually use for like chewing and stuff and biting down, to like moving a wheelchair around in real life might be a little strange at first. So we developed Limitless Journey as a sort of simulation to train people to use the wheelchair in like a safe and serene environment.
Where you're actually able to concentrate, it's really responsive and it really moves well.
Tell me about this device you've got and what it does.
We developed this smart band that measures specific biometrics like heart rate, skin temperature, micro-threading, and acceleration also for the wrist. We designed this device to measure emotion and make them available in gaming. Mainly this meaning like when you're gonna stress or when you have some specific emotion, the game can react and adapt to you.
Am I annoyed? You're okay, actually.
So far, we detect 8 emotions around 2 axes. One axis is excitement, so calm or excited, and the other axis is positive or negative emotion.
Once you've kind of got these emotions happening, what does that do for the gaming experience?
So it's really the matter of the game designer. There is a million of ways to use emotion. In the demo, we choose the two mode. One mode is to when we detect your stress, we try to keep you on a certain level of fear, so the game has some mechanics around that. We developed a Gen AI side where for the first time we train game assets like audio, soundscape, only with emotion and not a prompt that usually do in the language models. So now we have a layer and we can directly react in the game, whether the generation of assets, whether the story, the visual effect can be fully driven by the emotion.